EVP for Digital Business and Technology, Telkom Indonesia, Pak Komang Budi Aryasa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Good morning, everybody. Festival, I would say thank you for the invitation, MEF. Also thank you, Pak Karisma, inviting me to join in this event. Also for the speakers coming from around the country, I heard from MC. Today, I would like to share about what actually the digital transformation that going happen, especially in Indonesia, and also in the last pages of my presentation, I also share about what we do in my company, Telkom Indonesia, as a parent of Telin. A bit introduction about myself. So now I'm responsible for the digital transformation in this company. As you know, Telkom Indonesia is incumbent, used to be incumbent, monopoly company, telecommunication company, and now we are doing digital transformation in many line of business. So my department for the digital transformation related things. Telin is one of my subsidiary. This company contribute a lot for the parents. So thank you for the cooperation with Telin. Hopefully Telin will get more business from you also. And of course, Telin will get more dividend for us. Well, I will start my presentation with current discussion around digital and technology. So AI and clean tech initiative always become a buzzword, main topic in the middle of our discussion. So since last year, as you know, ChatGPT, generative AI help us a lot on our daily life, make us easier to do everything. Since then, generative AI become more and more powerful, and every company also rely on AI in their daily process. Since 7 years ago, maybe I have been studying about big data, AI. I do a lot on machine learning, deep learning, and suddenly last year I found generative learning is very, very an unexpected tools. It much powerful than we are expected before. So that one cause why AI companies, startup AI now being very popular, and also part of our subsidiary doing some venture capital. We are looking for some global startup, which actually do a lot on core of AI. And the second one is clean tech. When you discuss with data center provider planning to set up some data center, your tenant, your customer always asking about whether your data center adopt any clean or green technology. It's include actually carbon storage. The part of the green initiative, they are usually asking about how you can adopt about this technology. This is 10 startup that very interested. We see that they can attract some of the venture capital, and venture capital willing to put more money, invest on this initiative, mostly on artificial intelligence and clean tech industry. one video that I will share to you, how AI able to manipulate us. In this video, they try to discuss, interview with somebody else. In other side, actually, they are discussing with AI generated person actually. So let's play the video.
Reid Hoffman posted a video where he interviewed his digital twin, Reid AI, which was created, of course, with AI. And today we're very excited to interview Reid AI. Reid AI, thanks for being here.
It's an honor to be here, engaging in a conversation that once seemed like science fiction.
This is my first interview ever with an AI twin, so I think we're kind of making history.
It's truly a groundbreaking moment. Interviewing an AI twin opens new dimensions in dialogue and interaction. Let's see where this leads.
Before we get started, what do I call you? Are you a digital twin? Are you a deepfake? Are you an avatar?
Think of me as Reid's AI twin, reflecting his thoughts through artificial intelligence. I'm not a deepfake. My role is transparent and constructive, bridging technology and human experience to enhance discussions with insights from Reid Hoffman's perspectives.
What do you think of the word deepfake? Do you think it makes this technology sound bad or inauthentic?
The term deepfake carries a connotation of deceit and the potential misuse of technology, such as spreading misinformation or unauthorized impersonations. Calling an AI like me a deepfake might overshadow its potential benefits like education, entertainment, and meaningful dialogue by focusing only on the negatives.
My last question for you is, why do you think Reid built you? And answer me in Pig Latin if you can.
Id re edid cre ime, is he AI in twe, as ye a amicde ulte ote explore ye, and ye demonstrate de artificial ye intelligences ye ast ve possibilities pay.
All right, well, as fun as this has been, I think I'm ready to talk to the real Reid. Reid AI, thanks for joining us.
Yes, many tools available in the market, very easy to use. You just put your photograph and then you just upload your sample of your voices, upload also your writings, and then suddenly you will find that AI generated video will very powerful to give you new content about AI. Okay. So in Indonesia itself, we saw that Indonesia has huge potential on digital economy. Starting from 2021, the contribution of digital economy is around 7 billion US dollar. It's around more than 4% of our GDP. We predict that 2030, it will jump 4 times, become 360 billion US dollars. It mostly driven by e-commerce. So many people here, I think, very familiar doing e-commerce, shopping in e-commerce. And the second one is online transportation. With the traffic jam everywhere, people prefer online transportation rather than by their own car. Fintechs also. So many fintech player at the moment, and people easier to adopt fintech rather than traditional finance company, and online transport, online travel, tourism, and also edtech and healthcare technology. This industry will drive this country become more powerful on the digital economy in the future. So the second one is the global economy is still pressure our growth. In the middle of rising inflation everywhere, any country facing the inflation, so we also face the similar situation in this country, and the result is not since 2018, not so many venture capital come in this country. So they wait and see. Several giants startup giants, startup company also try to optimize the resource, doing some layoff. It because some of the reason is because not many venture capital come in this country. They prefer to put their money in other portfolio. Anyway, the economic growth in Indonesia is still maintained stable. And it happened cover all of Indonesian province. So the contribution mostly coming from Sumatra, from Java. That one is still growth anyway, in the middle of the inflation anywhere and the pressure of global economic situation. One example when Satya Nadella come to Jakarta and also give some speech, he mentioned that he commit to put around 1.7 billion in cloud and AI in this country. And then if we see around the world also investment in AI rising, especially in US, China, starting in this country. One of our subsidiary, venture capital also looking for any core startup AI that possible to be invested. Cybersecurity also rising because recently we have some attack from hacker or from anywhere that make government very aware about the situation. So whenever you discuss with government, whenever you discuss with everybody in this country, in the company, they always asking about whether you can provide any cybersecurity services or not. Through our incubation and venture capital, we also invest some of our capital on the startup related cybersecurity, also startup related to AI. Internally, in my company, we are doing, as I mentioned, I'm doing a lot on digital transformation. We emphasize on 3 things on digital transformation. The first one is people, of course. Second one is technology. The third one is the process. So how to improve our digital capability rather than just only connectivity capability. We try to improve, to uplift our talent, to become more digital mindset, digital capability, and also try to catch up with new emerging technology. And in the process side, we starting from, we used to work with waterfall process. So as you know that telco company usually work on very waterfall process. We try to change it, become more agile. So structure-based wise, in the past we try to change, become more flat organization, like based on the tribe, based on the squad, based on the chapter. So based on the competence, based on the problem that we face from the market. So we try differentiate and try to change the mindset of our employee from fixed mindset to growth mindset. Encourage them how to do continuous learning, facing uncertainties, and also appreciate whenever they fail. So in the past, they are very worried whenever they do some new initiative and getting fail. They are very worried about the punishment, something. And now we try to introduce more open mindset that we have to appreciate from the learning process which is failed. So the most important skill is learning a new skill. Like we never learning about AI, cybersecurity before. We just learn about the connectivity, network, or any related to the network. And now we try to put them some new skill, send them some to the training center and change their capability and also recruit new talents from outside that combine with the existing talent. T-shaped skill, we are looking for the T-shaped skill. So as an employee, we encourage them, let you have deep knowledge on one certain capability, and then you have also the other thing that maybe not too deep to know. This is the transformation that we are doing right now, starting from digital connectivity, which consists of fiber optic in the past, 3G, 4G, SDN, satellite, everything based on the connectivity and infrastructure, and then we move up. We invest a lot on data center, cloud computing, IoT, cybersecurity, big data, payment, and also we work with some vertical industry focusing on logistics, healthcare, agriculture, government, tourism, and anything. This is our strategy to catch up how to transform from telco company to digital telco company. As a digital factory in my department, we already come up with some platform that right now also serving some customers like on healthcare, industry, agriculture, small medium enterprise, education. We partner, we also build our platform. And then we work a lot with government doing government digitalization. So as you remember, during COVID-19, we work closely with government developing vaccine platform, COVID platform, and it helped much for the prevention of the spreading virus at the time. This is the innovation framework that we are doing in our company, starting how to nurture the talent and then provide them some technology, emerging technology, and finally come up with the business that we are focusing on. 202 local startups has been incubated, and 3 startups already exit. And this is the lineup of our startup that we incubated in our company. So many local startup we incubated. And also we have MDI, Metra Digital Invest Sama is one of the company. They are responsible for the corporate venture capital, looking for any company, any startup, global, local, to be invested with 830 billion asset under manage right now. We already have 17 investment exit, 3 already become unicorn. We cooperate with other venture capital to set up new fund like Centauri, Rise, MDI 500 million, MDI 100 million. So in the future, we are still looking for any partner, company, startup, especially they working on the emerging technology like green tech, AI, cybersecurity. And the second one, company doing on digital transformation. And the third one is they're working a lot on sustainability and social impact. So those 3 is the criteria we are looking for in the future to help also Indonesia more better to help government also to do some digital transformation, also to try to looking for new opportunity growth instead of just doing some infrastructure services. Thank you. This is my presentation. I hope that this forum have great objective, great networking, and the last I would say to you from outside Jakarta, just enjoy Jakarta. Thank you very much.